What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Melissa Renee.
And Evita Nicole.
And this is Drinks and Discussion. And I'm already feeling lit.
And look, she ain't even drink a lot.
I did, but
drink a lot. But very easy and simple for our ladies because we like to look cute sipping on stuff. This is just raspberry liquor. It does not matter which brand you get. If you want to be fancy, you get what is it, Chambord? But you get the same effect.
Shoot, I use this one.
Raspberry liquor and Prosecco. That's it. I use about that much of raspberry liquor. The majority of it is Prosecco, and it really tones that Prosecco.
And you know,
it blends very well.
We're getting into Prosecco because, you know, we've been watching Insecure. Okay? And all Issa said was one thing. Can I get a Prosecco with a splash of vodka? You know? And
it's really good.
But
really good.
Yes,
I'm feeling warm and tingly.
Someone is like Prosecco, like a
it's a sparkling wine.
It's a sparkling wine.
It puts you on the mind of a champagne, kind of dry.
Yeah, that's what it put me of a dry champagne.
Yeah.
But they're saying it's because if it's a wine, it's more of a Prosecco. Okay. But y'all, this is hitting right here.
It's really good. What were we gonna name this?
Freinemies.
Freinemies.
Since we're talking about friendships today on the show. So today we're going to talk about friendships amongst women, because I feel like, and I've been seeing a lot of posts lately about, you know, the difference between friends and knowing what type of friend category you're supposed to be in. And, you know, I said, you know, we should talk about this. Plus, I wrote a blog about it, about, you know, are you a good friend? So why not indulge on it? Especially since I feel like Black women, we get kind of a bad rap of being able to have friendships amongst women. Like, that's why they down us about housewives and you know, love and hip hop and stuff.
It's like the husbands always get along,
but the women,
even with Married with Medicine,
the
husbands,
is another one.
You know, get along. They try to make us seem like we petty,
like we just petty but are we though? Are we petty?
Let's talk about what leads to our pettiness.
Okay, what leads to the petty?
Insecurities.
Okay. Of course. Insecurities do.
Just misunderstanding.
You know what?
I think a lot.
I saw where Tamika posted in the I don't know if she posted it in the group or she posted it herself. But we was talking about this one time when the post was saying you know, basically how women forgive they man quicker than they'll forgive a friend.
I've said this long ago.
And we've discussed this before. We was talking about this before. And I was like, this is so true, because we said that women, we will forgive a man.
But you know what I think about too?
What?
Do we forgive the men because they're persistent in a way of trying to make up? And we as women, the so-called we don't apologize people, that we just don't come back around to, I guess, own up.
So we don't.
To our fault.
So you're saying maybe we forgive the men more because the men actually put in the time and the effort to try to bridge the gap or reconcile the relationship.
I think sometimes they do.
And we as women might be a little too petty.
Well, we gotta understand too, even if a friend reaches out and be like, "Hey, girl, just want to talk to you about what happened," you know.
So how often does that happen?
Not very often, okay, but when it does, even if she just calls and you see the missed call, you know us. I don't know what that bitch calling for now.
Oh,
you know, Whereas we'll do that with a man. I don't know what this nigga calling for now.
Yeah.
And he'll call again. Well, we as women, I done reached out to the bitch.
So yeah. So like I done, shit, I tried to call the bitch.
I done sent her a text message. Hey, how you doing? She ain't want to respond.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Can you say, have you ever made a conscious effort with a so-called friend who stopped talking to you and you tried to persistently reach out?
I feel like I have. I know I have on one occasion. Mm-hmm. On another one, somewhat. I don't think we fell out, this particular person. But the one where I feel like I reached out to where we fell out or what have you, I tried calling her.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Either she blocked my number or
I reached out to that person.
I never heard back.
Yeah.
I never heard back.
I reached out to that friend too because of the situation. And I reached out to them as well, even to say like, you know, because it's the wedding. Yeah, I reached out to her as well to be like, you know, at the end of the day, like, you should still like at least come to the wedding or participate in anyway because it's bigger than
yourself. But I reached out. I didn't get a phone call back, no email. I left a voicemail. I want to say I may have called either twice.
I've done that before.
At least.
I've humbled myself before where I'll be like, I'll try to reach out or interact or call and be like, you know, but I can say one thing I didn't do was I didn't just write and say, did I do something to you, you know, that I don't know about? Because I've done that before with a friend. Well,
I can't remember if I
sent a friend request to a particular person, female. We went to high school together. We were friends like from middle school probably up to high school, probably up until like maybe 10th grade year maybe. And we stopped being friends. And we stopped being friends after that. And we stopped talking, whereas I, you know, on one end, I had a certain perspective of why we stopped talking, you know, but that's not to say that was her perspective, right? So when I kept seeing her as the people you may know on Facebook, I was like, well, you know, I'm seeing her always commenting,
and I'm sure you have
mutual friends. So I was like, okay, let me reach out. So I reached out, and she declined my friend.
She ain't let it sit. That is not funny.
Petty Betty, listen. It's funny. It's funny because that's when you know you want the person to know. Like, bitch, I want you to know I don't fuck with you. Like, I want you to know I don't fuck with you. Like, that's the only reason people will purposely click the decline, because for that, they'll just, like, leave it in the...
And I know who you talking about.
The friend request box, because I know I do. I just don't touch it. You know, like, I
don't know how many friend requests I got. I done lost track. So if you in there, you just got mixed up.
Sorry.
With the weirdos. Just say another one.
But, so she sat there. So, you know, she declined it. So I was like, okay. In my mind, I'm like, for you to press decline or remove, it's going to let me know that you declined my friend request. So, okay, let me make sure everything good. Because, you know, I don't want people to, like, here's my thing. My thing is, if I've done something to you, like, and I don't know, but it comes to my attention that you feel some type of way, I'm going to want to know, like, what did I do? Because I want, you know, I genuinely don't want people to have hard feelings out there or feel bitter about something that I've done that I can try to correct if I can. So I wrote her and I was like, I'm just curious. I sent you a friend request. You declined it. So I was just curious, like, did I do something to you? Like, is there, like, you know, is there a problem? And, you know, she was like, oh, you don't remember what you did? And I was like, no, because in my mind I'm like, 10th grade, like we, high school. I don't.
Right.
I don't
just
really
assuming we grew apart,
yeah,
but not necessarily to say we can't be cordial.
Yeah, like I didn't know it was that deep. So she was like, she talks about the whole. She's like, oh, I don't talk to you because you and you.
Look,
you and Edita.
I'm gonna interrupt you a little bit before you get started.
Okay,
because
go ahead.
People who know us, put it this way, we hear often when seen together, y'all still hang together, like, okay. So that's how long we've known each other.
Okay, yes.
So even growing up, when we have a circle of friends, it's a circle of us girls.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we just have this certain connect. It's little things where younger girls in school will take offense to and look at us like they trying to make us outsiders. Even when it comes to, back in the day, some girls be like, well, what you wearing tomorrow? Well, I'm going to wear this, or I'm going to wear this color. We never did that. Mm-mm. But we will show up, some exact colors, like it might be our skirt day because that's what we felt like. And to the girls who were with us, it's like, y'all playing that. Y'all could have called us. And it's like, I didn't call this bitch.
I didn't call her. This is just
and we still do that. Our colors blend. We don't call each other and say, hey, what you wearing on the show today? No. We don't do that. So it's like, happened.
So she felt like me and you.
I'm sure.
We came to school after the weekend we was with each other, and we didn't talk to her, and we were mean to her. I guess she said she felt like that weekend, I don't remember verbatim, but I remember like basically she felt like
outcast her.
We made her feel outcasted and alone, and mm-hmm. She felt like we just kind of like stopped talking to her and gave her the cold shoulder. So, I responded to her. I said, when she talked about the whole thing, I said, in my mind, I'm like, it's crazy how two people or more can be in the same situation and have two different experiences, right? So she had the experience that she felt outcasted. So I was like, well, I was under the impression we were good. We were good when we went to the mall. We were good when we went to the movie. You got upset because we was, at
being child.
We was at a particular person's place, and we were being young teenagers having fun doing illegal things.
Oh, that was that one?
Yeah, that was that one. Illegal things, I'ma say it wasn't drink. Well, it was a little bit of drinking.
Look, y'all, weed is damn near legalized. Okay.
So, anyways, we was underage.
I do remember because her boyfriend smoked, but okay.
Okay, yes. So she got upset because we was at this particular house. It was a little drink and a little smoking. We was just chilling. She didn't want to be there, and she wanted to go home. Well, we got dropped off over there. We don't have a car. We 16 years old.
I don't even remember.
So where are we
I don't even know where we were. I don't remember any of it.
We was in an apartment. Like, it wasn't Crossroads, Willow Creek. It was one of those places.
Oh, Lord. That was ghetto. But go on.
Listen, I told y'all it was loud country and ghetto. I mean, shit, I said it. But anyways, we was there, and I guess she felt uncomfortable. And, maybe if I wasn't a 16-year-old teenager, I might have saw that to say, okay, y'all, she's feeling uncomfortable. So, y'all can stay, but I'll call, my ride or call a ride to pick us up so we could go. Whatever the case may be. But the 16-year-old me was, what is your problem? You acting real stank dank over there. And like you know what I'm saying, what's the issue? You're the only one who has a problem. Everybody else is good. So maybe she felt some way about that. But like I explained to her, I'm 16. I'm functioning and operating on the level that I am on. For you to hold something like that, you know, and no, I further told her, I said, furthermore, I was like, you start feeling away because we didn't leave. You start giving us the cold shoulder. You came to school that following Monday and wasn't talking to us.
If I recall, she didn't even say she was ready to go.
No, she didn't. She was just sitting there. She just said she didn't want to be there. Because I think I stepped outside at one point and talked to her and asked her what was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, well, you know, what's wrong? And she said she didn't want to be there. But I didn't even get an attitude with her. I was just like, well, you know, we're not going to be here long. Like, what I'm supposed to do? I don't have a car. Like, I can't take you home. Because I don't even know who dropped us off.
I don't know.
I don't remember any of that.
I apologize if I made anyone feel outcast or... I know how that feels to have someone intentionally, you know, you had elementary school. I had an elementary school situation where my friends just was like, let's just not talk to her today. Let's not talk to her, you know, for a couple days or whatever. And it was like, well, what did I do to y'all? And that was at a point where...
Why do you think they treat you like that?
I was very insecure, so I have no clue. Like, I was the little girl.
You was I guess a dark-skinned girl, and you had that good hair. That's why.
I have no clue why.
Because you had a good hair. That's what it was.
I have no clue why. And it was like that really, to me, that was traumatizing because I was insecure. I did not have good self-esteem in elementary school. My self-esteem was my books, doing my schoolwork. Ooh, I could get good grades. Yeah. So to me, I didn't look at like I'm the little cute dark-skinned girl with the curly hair. You know, it was like I did my work. I get good grades. I don't know why my friends don't want to talk to me. So I would never intentionally do that to somebody. Yeah. You know, just like I'm not going to talk to them, you know.
But, you know, what was crazy for me was it wasn't the fact that she felt this way about me. Like, what was concerning for me is that it's been like 10 plus years. I'm talking about maybe 20 years. And for you to hold on to that like you did to the point where you like, I don't even want to be your friend. Like
on Facebook,
it was like that was more concerning to me than anything. Like, wow, like that really affected you because
I think, Melissa, you had sometimes friends who, I'm going to just be honest, because even though we were friends, we didn't take like every class together growing up. We weren't always in the same interest. She was in drama. That was not my thing. So you would have these friends that, you guys became close. And I think when I look back, when I look back at some of those girls too in particular, you were like their best friend, like their only really good best friend. And it's like on the outside of, I guess, the environment that you met them in, here it is this, I'm here. And it's like, well, maybe they didn't feel like they fit in, but I'm a very open arms person. I feel like I am. Your college friends, I was very open. I mean, we got along very well.
It was never a problem with my college friends. No. It was never.
I went places with her college friends without her. Out of town and shit.
Without me, she done went places with them. So yeah, like that was. It was only 2 incidents where that was a problem, but
I look at it like when I look at it, I don't recall them having other friends, that they were close with. I think you were their only friend. Maybe they're very attached like that.
Some people have friendships like that. I gotta learn to respect. Some people like more of a small circle. Some people don't like a bunch of
I mean,
friends.
I felt like
And
we
some
were a
people-
small circle.
I do too, but
Maybe smaller.
I didn't have a lot of friends in high school. I didn't. Like, it was you, it was Tamara, it was Victoria at one point, and that was interchangeable because I had like when I was close with Tamara, I wasn't friends with close with Victoria. And when I became close with Victoria, then that didn't last. And then who else in high school? Like, then I was like close with Tanya and Shayna, but I was more close with them like towards the end of high school, going out of high school. But like that was it. I didn't have a whole lot of friends. Now I had associates. Great segue. I had associates.
It's a difference.
People that I associated with or who I was acquainted with from school, but they weren't like my friends. I would, like probably like if we were at a game, I could speak it. Or
when you talk about associates, that's where a lot of girls, because just like it's a relationship, a friendship is a relationship. And we always talk about how we know those women, some of us may have been that woman, to be in a relationship with a man and he not in a relationship with you. Like, it's the same thing with a friendship.
A friendship.
We're just associates. We're good acquaintances right now.
And I think that's why it's a great segue. That's a great thing you bring up, because sometimes we look at our associates and acquaintances and we place them in the category of a friend.
Of the bestie.
And they're not your friend.
And when they go tell your business to their friend, now you feel betrayed. When they never said, like, and I don't even think there's a thing to say, like, are we friends? So what is this?
No, when you know that person is your friend, because y'all don't necessarily discuss and say we're friends, but you will hear them say, oh, I'm talking to my friend, or this is my friend, But it's a difference, because we'll introduce people like, oh, this is my friend. And then you can introduce people, oh, this is my homegirl. This is my
homegirl. Now, if they be like, I'm talking to my homegirl, you're not her friend. You are not her friend.
No. If you get homegirl, oh, this is my coworker, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you not
my work
the friend.
You a work friend.
Yes.
That's it. That is it. It may not leave outside of work, only to the extent of maybe that person showing up to an event you invited them to, a birthday party, baby shower, wedding. They're gonna say, I'm going to my work friend's wedding.
This girl from work, I'm going to her wedding, and that's what you're gonna be. If you a friend, they're just gonna be like, I'm going to my friend wedding.
Right.
Point blank, period. But I feel like we have a problem with that, because even with me, like, I feel like I used to do this and I had to break myself out of it. Like, you might meet somebody and they got like the greatest personality. They're just like, oh man,
and you feel like they're just so cool.
They're so cool. I like her. We vibe. Like, I wanna, I wanna get to know her. I wanna be friends with her. That might sound weird, but that's what I thought. That's what some people think. So, you like, but you can't force something to happen. It gotta happen naturally. So, because you might be like, cool, but you might look at them like, that's like, but she might look at you like, I mean, you're cool. You're cool little
you're homegirl. You're cool.
If I want to go out to eat and I don't have...
Excuse me if I drop names too freely, but I feel like someone who I'd be like, oh, well, she was my homegirl, but that would be for that period of time or a season. I felt like was like Shamel. I would have called her my homegirl when we got out of school. I'm like, well, Shamel, where you working at now? Shamel helped me get a job, you know? And we were very close working together.
But it wasn't like just, outside of work.
No, I went to her house or nothing like that. No, nothing like that. But she was very cool, a very trustworthy person that I can get along with, working with. I could trust her. I know she ain't gonna throw me under the bus type shit.
Yeah.
At work. You know what I'm saying? So it was a difference.
Yeah.
You know, and if I recall correctly, she would even be like, "Oh, my homegirl," because that's what that was. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's nothing wrong with being a homegirl at all. And it doesn't mean if you a homegirl or an acquaintance, you're not valuable to you're not valuable to that person's life. Like with your situation, Shamel was still valuable to you, even though she was a homegirl and not a friend, right, because of the fact that she was loyal, she was trustworthy. You could trust her, you know what I'm saying? Right. So you could be a homegirl and still be a valuable, person in that person's life. But I say it's not to say you a friendship because you don't know all of, like, that person has many layers. And I feel like when you have a friendship with somebody, you are aware of those different layers. Right. You know the work friend. You know the go out club friend. You know the trip friend. You know the down on your luck friend. You know all of these. And let's talk about those go out the club friends. Go out the club friends is just that. They're fun girls. Yep. And you don't be surprised when the fun girl leaves you somewhere, or the fun girl doesn't call you all the time for fun. That's not your friend. It's somebody you call if you got somewhere to go and you really want to go and you ain't got nobody to go with you, and I know if I call Tasha gonna be like, where we going? You know what I'm saying? And she gonna be fun. And it's not to say that you can't meet somebody, a fun friend who has certain principles and values where they not gonna leave you. And, they might be the type, like, if it's popping with you, it's popping with me. Like, that's not to say that you can't have a go out club. My thing is, I have a conscience. Yeah, I'm not about to leave nobody but that don't mean that pissy drunk or nothing like that. Exactly. I don't do that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she is your friend. She's your acquaintance or your homegirl that you go out with. You know that that's somebody you can have a good time with, and it's gonna be less drunk. Your homegirl's like dating. Yeah, you're dating. You invite them to events. Yeah, come to my birthday party. Might be a homegirl who she's not doing anything for Christmas. Yeah, or Thanksgiving or what have you. Girl, come over here. Yeah. We got plenty of food. Yeah. It's almost like you're dating. But you ain't all in her. You ain't calling her. You're not calling her on a frequent basis to know that, Jeff dumped her and she's sad and she got this bill over there. You don't know all that because that's out of the boundaries of y'all relationship. Right. You know what I'm saying? You might not call her and be like, let me tell you about my mom. Yeah. Sorry, Mom. But you know what I'm saying? You may not call her on that tip, right? You're not gonna call her on that tip because that's too much information. So you gotta know who sits in who. You gotta know where people sit, and I allow people to show me where I sit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't take nothing from it. But if I notice that you only call me for certain stuff, you only invite me to certain things. You know what I'm saying? We only speak with certain stuff, and I get it when people say, oh, if I'm a real friend, I ain't got to speak to you all the time. No, but let me tell you the thing about time. So much can happen within weeks, months, and months. In 6 months, I can wholeheartedly find somebody, date them, get serious with them, move, get pregnant, get married all in 6 months. And if I don't talk to you but every 6 months, you miss all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I think some people have I think that's when some people don't know how to let go, that they've grown apart. I have friends, like I said, I'm gonna call names loosely. Me and Blair, we were. To me, that was like my bestie, Y'all and she moved to another school. We eventually grew apart. I never had any issues with her. Mm-hmm. I don't believe she ever had any issues with me, but it was kind of like a mutual, we grew apart. I started seeing the growing apart
I want to say before she even moved, you know, she would have friends that I would just be like,
you didn't like them friends.
Not that I didn't like them. I'm like, that person is not for me. Not for me to call a friend. Not for me to, you know, divulge information about myself, and I don't know them like that.
That's another thing we gotta understand. We gotta understand that too. Your friends don't have to be my friends.
Exactly.
My friends don't have to be your friends. You know, if you coming together for me, if I got separate friends and y'all are my friends, it's not about coming together and y'all being friends. It's about y'all coming together and getting along and respecting each other out of respect for our individual friendship. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like sometimes, and I've seen certain situations where you can see the competitiveness or the tension amongst the friends who's all mutual friends of the main friend.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
And you know, it's like this ain't a sport. You know what I'm saying? And then some of the time, that main friend, like, you sitting here like trying to hold guard, like, oh, I'm the friend, when y'all friendship is merely just maybe it is acquaintance.
And you don't even know that.
And you don't even know that.
And maybe that's where men kind of get along with, because they can sit in a room and they already know, this is my boy. We go to the same barber, or we might play basketball together, or you know what I'm saying? But they can get in a group of other guys.
Yeah.
They've all seen each other around. Hey, man, how you doing?
Yeah.
Women like to pretend like they ain't never seen you before.
Hey, how are you? Hey, how you doing? Did I see you before?
Come on now. Yes.
Haven't I seen you before?
You done saw me in the nail shop. Me and my boyfriend and your boyfriend done went out together. Now you want to, because it been a couple months ago, you don't want to be like, hey, girl, how you doing? You want to act all cute.
Maybe because let's talk about the predatory. Let's talk not the predatory, but the let's talk about the friend who's very what you call it, when you're very protective over their friends, meaning like they think they, like, I see jokes about that online when they be like, oh, who's the new girl? You know, we don't play no new girl. That's all fun and jokes, but seriously, that's a toxic friendship. If you in a friendship with somebody and you know that's Bessie, she know we don't bring new people around, that's a toxic friendship. Because I guarantee you she got other friends and people she talked to, and I guarantee you she go places that she don't tell you she
like
don't went without you.
How are you supposed to grow as a person if you're around people who look at, well, who is this newbie coming in here? Or, you know, well, where you been? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's toxic, because
toxic.
They're not. That's like a relationship with the man who don't want you going anywhere with your friends. Or who is this new person? Why all of a sudden you got to go do this, that, and the third?
Yep.
It's the same thing with friendship.
It's the same thing.
Same exact
it's
thing.
Nothing cute about your best friend telling you you can't have other friends. That's not cute. It's very toxic, because you are an individual and you build with people. And that's how you build as a person.
Absolutely.
And if you only got one friend that you around, and you can only have, if she okays it, that's how you can have another friend. That is a very unhealthy, one-sided, toxic relationship. And if you do that to her, you just as toxic, and y'all two toxic people, because you know people come in your life for a reason. You know,
and some is only for a season. And we forget that. We've all had friends we've been close with.
Never thought you would never think that you would never talk. I bet you probably never thought you and Blair would.
No.
You would probably I never think.
But we just grew apart. It was just it was a mutual growing apart. You know, literally, life took us on separate paths. Yeah. So it was like, that's what it is. But best believe if I see her out, and when I have seen her out, is, hey, how you doing? I'm not walking past her like, hey. You know, like I don't know who she is. I'm genuinely excited to see her.
Yeah.
You know? So,
I was mean. You know what? I was mean one time. I did that to a friend.
what?
I'm gonna say Jessica Burkett.
What'd you
I
do?
remember I was so mean, but I'm gonna say this to you, Jessica. I apologize.
Ooh, I'm
because
gonna tell y'all about when Melissa was mean to me, but go ahead.
I apologize. Oh, she about to tell you about Florida. But listen, I apologize to Jessica because I was really mean, and she was my friend since we were friends since second grade. Like when I moved to Columbia and I started going to Sandal Elementary in the second grade, she was like, that was my first time ever having a best friend. Aww. She was my best friend. Like we stayed in Apple Valley. We stayed like walking distance from each other's house. Okay. I used to go to her house after school because her dad used to watch me after school. Like that's how close we was. And she ended up moving to like going to school like in the Dutch Fork area of Columbia. So we kind of like ventured off. And then she saw me and I was pregnant with Ace. That was a bad time in my life.
Y'all, I don't even remember much of her pregnancy.
That was not a good time. I was not in a good space. Cause I stayed in Orangeburg. I rarely came home, and I just stayed cooped up in an apartment. And I went to school when I was able to go to school, and I came back home. Like that was not a good time of my life. I was very I was very low, and she saw me, and she spoke to me. And when she spoke to me, she was real excited. Her cousin, because I used to go to church with her cousin, and
you was family.
Yes, and she saw me. She was like, "Hey, Melissa, this and this happened." I was just like, "Hey, yeah, okay, yeah." And I was mean. I was very mean. I was really mean, but it had nothing to do with her. It had absolutely nothing to do with her. It was all on me. And when you in a place where you just low and you just like trying to get through, like you don't realize how the daggers that you shooting out to people, but it's not for them. It's just like my vibration was just down here, and I couldn't even fake it. You know, you might try to pull it together like, "Hey, girl, hey," and try to fake it. I couldn't even fake it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, in my mind, I probably wouldn't be like, "Hey, girl, I ain't gonna lie, bitch, I don't feel like talking to you and nobody else I run into." Like, this just ain't the time of my, you know how when you busy doing something, when you busy and you doing something, and somebody come in, you be like, "I can't right now." Like, that's how I felt at that point in my life. Aww. It was like, I can't right now. I can't. I'm in a bad space, and I'm just trying to get through this. And talking and reminiscing. Shit, bitch, that's just not it right now. Like,
I mean, hey, when you pregnant, that thing bring out a whole nother person. It's like your child is sucking everything from you.
Oh, and let's not talk about what I was going through at the moment because I was pregnant with Ace. But that wasn't her. That
was not her fault.
That wasn't her fault, and that she shouldn't.
So, do you think sometimes our hormones just aids in the pettiness or the, you know?
I feel like your hormone doesn't create anything. It just enhances. So when you already feeling some way and you in a bad space and you feeling down, low, like your hormones just gonna intensify that shit, and it's gonna make it to where you can't hide that shit if you want to. It's gonna come out. I'm not feeling good about myself right now. And that's basically all that shade was. If you felt any shade, Jessica, it was I don't feel good about myself shade. That was it.
And that's typically what it is about us when we're short with people.
Yeah,
I have gone in some circles where I felt insecure, and it's not like I even knew the girls to, you know, just be standoffish. It's just I didn't feel good about myself. Yeah. Our insecurities play a lot
Yeah.
on what's going on.
It does.
A whole lot. It does happen. It does happen.
But I do apologize because that's something that used to just eat at me because I was like, I did not have to be like that to her.
You did not have to be like
I
that.
didn't have to be that way.
You could even at least explain to her, like, I'm tired. Forgive me. I have to go.
Yes, because I'm sure, like, her first time seeing me in forever, I'm pregnant. Right. So she probably like, oh my gosh, you're pregnant. I'm just kind of like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like talking about this shit because I didn't plan this shit. I didn't plan to be pregnant. I didn't plan on being pregnant by the motherfucker I'm pregnant by. I secretly wish I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
This is how I'm feeling, but I projected that onto her. And she didn't deserve it. So Jessica Burkett, she's married now. I don't know her married name. But Jessica Burkett, I do sincerely apologize. I think I was like 22 at the time. It doesn't matter my age. It's no excuse. I apologize. The fact that I recognize that was not cool, I can apologize for that at that moment because that was me.
And maybe she didn't. Maybe it didn't even bother her.
Tell her what I was meaning.
So, y'all, we done graduated high school, right? Feeling just ready to get the graduation over. Shit, fuck it. We about to head to South Florida. We going to Florida. You know, so we get down to Florida, her people's house in Fort Lauderdale. Having a good time. We trying to find clubs to go to. We going out. You know, she's there. I came down with your cousin, Tiffany.
Yeah.
And... you know, we go
you
out
came down by yourself, ain't it?
Tiffany was on the Amtrak too.
Well, how I get there? I came by myself.
Maybe your aunt and uncle took you back or something.
Probably so. They probably came down and took me back.
You back. And then we came later. Mm-hmm. And anyway, we go out to a club and we leaving the club. A guy stops and talks to me. Is this when T.I. had hollered at you or not? I'm going to break this shit up every time. Bro. Anyway, we leave the club and this guy, you know, he talks to me. We exchange numbers. Now, I'm just out of high school. So I got a boyfriend, my little first real boyfriend, I would call. So sorry to the other boyfriend.
So she cheating.
But the most serious boyfriend that I had. Mm-hmm. So I'm dating then. Mm-hmm. I go out, I'm getting ready for my date now. Okay. So I'm like, Melissa, what? You know, and maybe I was rubbing it in. I didn't see it that way. I'm like, I don't know what to wear. Should I wear this or should I wear that? I don't know.
Bitch, I don't want to know what the fuck you're wearing. Bitch, I ain't going to no date.
Yo, this bitch straight. I'm at her people's house. This bitch, I don't care what you wear. Wear what you want to wear. Like, you know, and her cousin just goes, she talking to her cousin laughing.
Tiffany. Shout out to Tiffany.
She laughing like, Melissa, you know, but Melissa's dead serious, like, cause she already got a boyfriend and here she going out on a damn date. You know?
And emphasize, and I ain't got no motherfucking date, bitch, and I'm single as a fucking dollar bill, bitch. Shit, I feel some type of way.
Give me the cold shoulder. I don't know how long she give me the cold shoulder while I was staying with her people.
Probably like a day or two.
Probably a day or two.
That probably was it.
And I'm still right up there in her people's house.
You know what? I'm going to apologize. You know what? I apologize for that pettiness because that was the insecurity of me not having a date.
This fool.
All I could get was the CD nigga. And he wouldn't even give me no free CD.
Couldn't even talk about my date with her.
I didn't want to hear it.
She didn't want to hear it, y'all. She did not want to hear it.
I
just talked to my new friend on the phone.
I was hating. I'm like, bitch, I'm trying to get a damn date. I can't get shit but the CD man. And this nigga won't even give me, he did give me a couple free CDs. But bitch, them was bootleg CDs. But my thing was like, I can't get a date. This bitch got a whole date with a whole boyfriend. And she just pranced around, I'm going on my date. I see y'all later. I'm going on my date. Bye, y'all. Girl, but she was from ear to ear, and I was hating. But I apologize. That was petty. I shouldn't have did.
It was. was petty.
It was very petty.
But
And
it
showed
didn't
the
destroy. It's
insecurity.
not like the next morning I'm like packing my stuff like I'm just about to get me a ticket and go back home. It is what it is.
Mind you, I was 18 now.
Right, we were young.
I was young, okay? It's quite a few things I probably could have. So that going into like, are you a good friend? I can name some times where I probably was not the best friend. Like,
other than that, Melissa is a stand-up friend. You really are.
I don't think, okay, for instance, I would apologize. So this is my olive branches.
What?
I'm apologizing for stuff. So I'm gonna apologize to a friend. I'm not gonna say her name because I'm not gonna say her name, but I'm gonna apologize to her because I remember in middle school that I, in front of everybody, called her out on lying about something.
Yes, you did.
And I feel like even though you may call somebody out for being a liar or they lied about a particular thing, it's a way to do it. And I did not have to do it in front of people. And I low-key feel like maybe I did it because, I could say like I just got fed up. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm going to be real though. I said something though because I got tired of other people saying stuff about it.
And I was a bad friend because I was the other people like, didn't she just say
I was tired of people saying stuff around her and not saying
but
it
you were
to
being
her.
a good friend by saying, I just can't take it no more.
I couldn't take it. But I wasn't being a good friend because how I did it. I could have pulled her to the side. I could have had a phone conversation with her private and be like, listen, I'm going to need you to start kind of owning and being more honest and forthcoming because people around you are talking about you. And, and we all know you're not being honest. She brought
shit up like Murray, child.
I just brought it up. And it was very tactless and it was very inconsiderate. And I didn't think about how that would have made her feel.
I learned my lesson. I did that once. It wasn't bringing somebody out like that. I didn't have any ill intentions, but it was very tactless. And
what about what?
It was something simple. It was just like look at you. Like, what happened? You woke up late? Like, and I honestly did not mean it in a way to hurt her feelings, but it did. And it resulted in a chain reaction of multiple things and ending up in a principal's office and stuff like that when I honestly was not trying to be mean. Maybe I was trying to be jokey and it wasn't funny to her because I don't know what her situation was. A lot of us don't know what people's situation is. Yeah. At home. Yeah. And you just can't go off just flapping your mouth. Yeah. I learned my lesson.
I mean, and for those out there, if I did do something like, because a lot of times, sometimes we might not even know.
I think a lot of times things happen. We realize that we may have crossed the line or offended somebody. Yeah.
And caused people trauma. Like, you'd be surprised that something that's so insignificant to you that you do to somebody else can traumatize them to that's something that they carry with them for the rest of their lives. And, if I've ever done that to anybody, I promise you, I apologize because I won't even say like I won't even say in the state, say like, oh, well, I was young. I will say this. I didn't know any better. That doesn't excuse it, but that just to explain, like, it's not coming from a facetious place. Like, I didn't know any better. I didn't know, like, that was not the appropriate thing to do.
Or sometimes you don't even realize that, when you're dealing with insecurities, sometimes it's from hurt.
Projected onto other people.
And so it's, you don't know.
So I do apologize. I can say, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like, has anybody done something to me to where, like, I felt like, okay, I can name a situation where I felt, okay, I don't want to say I ain't feel hurt because it kind of makes it kind of comes off like the friendship was like insignificant to me, but it's not that. But like I would say like a lot of the friends that I had in college, a lot of the friends that I was close with in college, I'm not close to like that anymore. Now, I believe that some of that has to do with growth. You just grow apart. It's not a situation where you
fell out
you
or
fell
something
out
like that.
or you feel better than. Oh, I apologize for another situation I did. Now, I don't apologize.
Do now?
Girl, I know, right? I apologize
it's rough
for
being this bitch friend, y'all.
I apologize for a situation I did where I blasted this particular individual. I won't say her name on Facebook. Okay. Now I will not apologize for what I won't apologize for the meaning of it because I stand true and feel true about what I said and why I said it. But I will apologize for my tact and how I did it. See, a lot of my things I recognize in myself it's my tact. It's how I approach a situation. Now, it's not necessarily that I'm wrong in the sense of how I feel, but it means nothing if you do it in a way that's tactless and mean and cruel and rude. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's big of you.
Yes.
Because I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, I've learned from being tactless, but I felt some type of way about this person. I never knew even about y'all's situation, and you blasting them. When I had to tell you, I'm not disrespecting your mom's house and what's going on, but whoever she was, I didn't fucking like her.
Yeah.
And I didn't like her comments. So I'm not going to disrespect your mama's house.
Yeah. You did tell me that.
I did.
Yes,
you know, I do believe a time and a place, but I'm sorry. That's a person that deserves nothing. Not even an apology. But it came from Melissa, because Melissa is a sweetheart. She really is.
But I say that because we don't always have to stoop to those people level. Like, you know how they say when you see two people fight, you don't know who the fool. So I will apologize on my behalf because I didn't have to blast and say what I said. What I said, I meant everything I said. But that wasn't for the public and for everybody. That was a conversation that I should have had one-on-one, and we should have said what we had to say. We should have and went on our way. But I didn't do it that way. I blasted. And I blasted, and that was an ego-driven thing why I did it. Because, you know, you think in your mind like, oh, you know, people be like, oh, don't speak indirect. Don't do the sub tweets or the sub, you know, post if you can't say the person. So I was like, shit, I don't give a fuck. I'm ready.
She's still sweet, though.
I say the name. Let's say the name. Like, that's what it was. But that was very tactless. And I apologize if that caused you any embarrassment or, you know, stuff like that. So I apologize on that part. But other than that, I meant what I said. Now, I ain't gonna take that. I ain't gonna take none of that back. That was sincere. What I said was very sincere. Because that's how I felt. And I'll be real honest with you. I wasn't the only one who felt that way. I was just the realest person who actually said it to you. And you just think on that one. You just think on that
one. That's another thing.
I'm not going to say no name.
We do tend to hang around when you have circles of friends. Sometimes within that circle, there is sometimes talk about, you know, we've all given each other the look. As soon as that person, because either that person is known to lie or that person is just about to, you know where they about to go with something. You already know. And all we do is all just give the look. And it ain't just me and her. It been multiple people where we just, you know. And then, no, it's not right. Because somebody should pull that person to the side and say, look, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
You
know what? That's bad. Yes. Yes.
And we don't do that. We just let that person be. That person can still be our girl. She my bitch. She my girl, you know. we cool, but it just be
you allow her to be the butt of the joke, and that's not right.
That's not
nobody
right.
don't like to be the butt of the joke.
No.
Nobody nobody likes to be the butt of the joke.
And if with you bringing certain things to a person, they feel the need to like act like you have a problem. Look, you've done your job. You let it go. That's what they want to be.
But maybe we should talk about like being open enough to have them conversations. Because sometimes people don't say stuff because they don't feel comfortable. Like, they don't feel comfortable as a friend. Like, if I say this, it's going to be... Like, some people fear, like, well, this is my friend. But I don't want to say this to this person, and they shut me out.
Because they're not ready to receive something.
It. Yeah. So, what do you say about that? Like, I don't want to say... Because, you know, it's certain people in your life, whether they're family or friends, where you feel like, if I say this thing, I just feel like this person gonna just shut me out and shut me down, and they're not going to receive it. Even enough to receive it to say, well, I disagree with what you say. You know, I know what you're saying, but I disagree and can move past it. But just kind of be like, oh, well.
You should be able to disagree with the friend and say, well, I don't agree with that. Say your piece, you know, and y'all move on. But I don't think at any moment anybody should just lay everything out to one person at one time, because sometimes stuff builds up. You've allowed them to stack these cards. Now you want to just throw everything out, and it's like now they're going to be defensive. Now I got to defend myself. You know, because you done allowed me to just make up stories, or, you know, say I did something I did. Just lie. Outright lie. Typically, that's the problem within girls. It's lying. You know, we lie? It's trustworthy.
We lie a lot?
Not that we lie. We may not trust a person. It has to do with trust.
So why do you think we don't trust?
Because sometimes it's our insecurities, or the fact that person has lied. We know that person to not tell the full truth. Or it boils down to insecurities. You know, you might see that girl who she talk about fucking her best friend man. So now, you know, you want to feel guarded about certain events you invite her to. You don't want to invite her to the dinner dates.
Instead of being honest with her and be like, girl, I ain't going to lie. You telling me about fucking other people, man, that made me feel a certain way about you. Because it's like, how I know you ain't going to fuck my nigga.
Right. How I know you're not going to make passes. You know,
but maybe they're afraid that friend gonna be like, bitch, like, first of all, like,
don't nobody want your fucking man.
Bitch, nobody don't want that nigga. So now that done created a whole other thing, like, well, I ain't said you, well, you be acting like somebody wants your nigga, ain't nobody don't want your motherfucking nigga. So now you feeling defensive, like, what the fuck wrong with my nigga? The fuck wrong with my nigga? Like, what you trying to say? Like, what's
I think when it goes there, if a person is truly like that, truly like, you know, I fuck your man type shit, she needs to own up to it. Well, I won't fuck your man. That's different, you know, or something. I don't know.
Bitch, I won't cross that line because you my only friend, so I'm not gonna fuck your nigga.
But still, it's trust and insecurities.
I can feel that.
You know, it's...
So is there a friend, or is there someone who was a friend that if you could do things differently, you would try to keep that friendship or do something different to it? Or you feel like, I wish, you know, we hadn't grown apart, or I wish we could have had a better relationship?
I don't have any, like, wishes on that. Maybe I have more of, my thing is I'm big on closures.
Okay.
With people to know, like, you know, there's a closure. Whereas, like we say, my middle school going into high school friend Blair, there was no need for like an immediate closure type thing. It was like we eventually just grew apart. You know, it was just like that. But it's just like, there are some girls where it's like, well, they just dropped off the face of the earth, or like I thought we was cool, like literally traveling out of town to your fucking house, cool.
Yeah.
And then, like, what happened?
And you feel
you
like
give me a fake address when I mail you my wedding invitation. Like, what is that all about? You know?
Oh. So how many, is it a couple of those?
There are a couple of those. So maybe that says something about me. I don't know. But it's like, I wonder what that was about. But then again, you know, I can only try to reach out to people but so much. I'm pretty direct, especially when we're on a one-on-one basis about things. There's no reason.
So do you miss their friendship?
Yeah. All my friends, I can say people who I have called friends. There is, you know, for me to say, you know, she's cool, I consider her as a friend. We've gone through more than just talking about fun shit. We've discussed some real life shit. I may have seen you cry. You may have seen me cry. So it's like a relationship. Like, wow, it just kind of ended with like no type of closure.
So you basically like, I'm good if the relationship never resurrects, but I would like to have some type of closure to know like what happened, or you know, this ain't salvageable, and this is what it is.
Because it's a difference from growing apart. I can recognize when I grow apart from someone, and that's just what it is. There's no ill will, you know. But when you see little things, females, we do shit, and we try to pretend like, you know, oh, it's not that, bitch. It's that. It's that. You know, it is what it is. It's a difference from growing apart and then just wanting to cut ties with somebody, you know, especially if, like, with all of us, you know, it was multiple of us, especially after we graduated, and we would all hang in a certain circle, and it's like, you know, I'm hearing certain talk, and it's like, well, no, I don't know. I just don't think that person fucks with me anymore. And it's like, you know, you looking like, you sure? I'm pretty positive. You know, and it's like, until you see it for yourself, you're like, well, damn, I don't think they do. And it's like, well, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know.
You can't say what happened.
And it could be we grew apart to the point where that's how much we grew apart. I don't want to see, like you say, the person you send a friend request to, she don't want to see your fucking face on the people we may know. You know, it is what it is. That is fine. You necessarily don't owe me an explanation. You don't.
No.
I personally would like to know, just like any of these women who done been dating a man and he just stopped fucking talking to you.
Like, what did
and
I
you
do?
be like,
what I do? Like my favorite
I don't
man.
know.
What I do?
I done call him, he don't answer. And when you see the nigga out in the club, he speak to your homegirls and walk with his head up past your ass. And you just sitting there like, I don't know what his problem is. Like, it's the same. Women, you know, we give men more respect than we do on women in a regard to relationships.
So, like, a nigga can cheat on you, which shows his disloyalty, you know, because he's dealing with somebody outside of your relationship. And he could cheat on you multiple times, and you will forgive him and try to mend and work the relationship. But when it comes to another woman, you're not willing. Like, if she done did some fuck shit, you like,
as soon as she be like, girl, I can't go. Me and my man got such and such to do. And then I got to take my kids to a football game or something. It's like, well, that bitch ain't got time for me no more.
Yeah.
Clip?
Yeah. But what about the friendships where people do stay there and that friend does constantly, like, does stuff? But they
like manipulative stuff?
Like, like, you know, they done did some shit. Maybe they done stole from you before. You know, stole your identity or stole some money from you. Or,
oh, Lord. You
know what I'm saying? Stole from you. You forgave them. You know what I'm saying? You try to keep the friendship going.
I think it would be up to
they
that.
They done lied on you, or they ain't came through for you. Like, it's always something. Like those, and they do forgive and they do try to make it work. Like,
I think a conversation needs to be had.
But do you think like it comes to a point where sometimes you gotta let a situation go?
It all depends on how it affects you. If it affects you in a way of, you know, it just bothers me that this person never even apologized for any ill will they did towards me and they want to act like it's okay. You know, if that bothers you, then you have every right to be like, let's talk about it. Something. Let's talk about this, you know. And you could say, let's talk about it. And it's not in a sense of, I want to talk about it because I want us to have this bond again. It could just be closure. I want to talk about it because I want you to recognize what you did to me. Like you said, if you did anything, and I feel the same way. If I did anything to anybody, you know, you just let me know.
Yeah.
I'll like to hear your side. I can explain where I was coming from and let you know if it, you know, if it hurts you, I apologize. That it is what it is. I never go out of my way to just hurt a woman. You know, I can't say that's necessarily for men. I should say for anybody, but I never go out of my way to just turn a back on a woman. I've been in situations. I'm just saying, niggas will stick together. They'll know some shit about you and your man and be right up in your face, girl, and not say stuff.
True.
That's not me. That shit boils my blood. We ain't even got to be friends. Yeah. But if I know your man out there doing some shit he ain't got no business, I can't just be sitting all up in your face and shit like that. That just... Yeah. So if I did turn the cold shoulder, it could have been because of that. Like, you know what? I can't even be sitting in this bitch face. You know, that's your homeboy then. Shit. Don't be bringing them all around me because I'm going to tell the bitch what's going on.
So...
Sisterhood, ladies.
Sisterhood. And what would you say in regards to like telling people, like, because sometimes we'll talk about how somebody isn't a friend to us, but we don't realize how we are not we may fall short with some things as far as being a friend.
I recognize twice.
Feel like we should be able to say, you know, you should be able to look at yourself too and ask yourself, are you being a good friend? What are some things you would say, like, would be some signs to, or some questions you should ask yourself if you are, in fact, falling short in this area?
Do you take into consideration your friends' feelings or what they're going through? Yeah. You know, it's easy for us to call and say, let me tell you what happened to me. And then the entire conversation is about me. And I never even say, you know, I never even think to say, well, I'm calling to tell you something about me, but how are you first? Because you got to make sure your friend is in a good space. You know, because your problem could be the straw for your friend. It could be that straw
that broke the camel's back.
And so, you know, you have to be considerate. I think that's something.
I would say, what I would say is to be in the space to make sure that you can celebrate your friends' wins as well as support them in their lows. Because I've heard conversations before where women will say, like, you know, like when I was down on my luck, you know what I'm saying, I could depend on her. She was there, you know, that's why I thought she was solid. But as soon as I start being successful or I start making my own moves and making my own way, it seemed like she kind of like standoffish. She kind of became standoffish. And so, you know, sometimes we let our insecurities make us feel like, oh, well, you know, you don't need me anymore, so I feel away. But you gotta know how to celebrate your friend as well. Like when your friend winning, don't look at it as an insult to you. Don't look at it as a competition to you. Be able to celebrate them with their win. And if it's something that you admire that you would like to do too, ask your friend. Hey, I like what you doing. Yo, you should, like, can you tell, like, how did you do that? Or I like what you're doing, but I want to do this. Like, how can I do this, like, and implement it the way you did it?
And even when the friend who's winning can, just come out and ask your friend, is everything good? I'm still here. I'm your friend.
Yeah.
And see what response you get back, because you may get the response back that's negative, and that may let you know that that friend has their own issues, their own insecurities, but that friend was there for you during that season in your life, and now it is over. For now, not to say, we all take that fork in the road, but it could come back together.
Yeah.
But sometimes it continues to go apart. But at least you've done your part. You recognize it. It all comes to us just saying something. Like, hey, girl, is everything okay? Because our mind, especially when you have insecurities, your mind, the wheels just get turning, and you come up with all kind of scenarios.
Somebody don't call.
As to
let
why.
me tell you what we do. If you call and that friend don't answer, and that friend ain't call you back within a certain amount of days, like intentionally not calling. Like I used to do stuff like that because of my insecurities. Like, well, I ain't gonna call. So I guess she ain't fooling with me. Don't do that.
Yeah,
because that friend might be going through stuff, but they might have a lot they're trying to juggle at that point.
I'm gonna be open and honest. I felt that way during the time right before I got married because of the falling out amongst bridesmaids and stuff like that. And it's like, well, whereas I would talk to Melissa, more often than usual, it's like our talking time died down after that incident. But mind you, I have to keep in mind, this bitch pregnant.
Oh, yeah,
She was pregnant. So I had to take that into consideration.
I was pregnant.
But it's like, well, did I do something?
I intentionally pulled back from everybody because I was pregnant and I was so hormonal. And I was like, listen, there is no reason why I should be taken by what I'm going through hormonally out on nobody else. So I was just like, that's when I got to the point where I was like, you know what, Melissa, like, you have a problem just being alone and being to yourself. And that's the point. That was the tipping point where I started to kind of start to recognize stuff and work on myself, because I was pregnant, and I don't know about other people, but especially with Micah, I got very hormonal. I was agitated, irritated, like all of that. And I did not like.
I feel that way.
I did not like. I ain't gonna say her name, but we was in high school, and this person was pregnant, and I just felt like it was so mean to me, and I didn't know what I did.
She was mean to you. You was just that irritated. But you know what? Two people did that to you.
Who? Who else?
Somebody else I would say during band season did that to you. And I want to say I believe they were pregnant.
Was it?
And it's like it's like
was they below us?
Mm-mm. And it's like
yes.
It was like
yes.
They just always took all their anger out on Melissa
while she was pregnant in band. And she let me know at every moment, like, I got the side eye, I got the eye roll, I got everything. And see,
I could say something and it's like round at you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, she didn't even
I ain't even say it. I ain't even had said it. She said it, but I got the energy.
Pregnancy does shit to us.
Yeah,
our hormones do things to us.
I've experienced that before, and it does not feel good when people just project onto you and they going through whatever. I was like, you know what? You need to do some soul searching and spend some time with yourself, and you don't need to be taking out your hormonal shit with other people. So I kind of I would spend more time by myself it was kind of like to protect other people from my negative energy. Because this was the time where I was pregnant, and then somebody who I thought I was cool with and was a friend with just kind of deuced me out, and stopped talking. So I'm just like, well, what the fuck is going on? So that was that situation. But yeah, you right. Like, you don't know what people be going through, and yeah, we do that. Like, somebody don't call and somebody don't call us and stuff like that. We be like, oh, she ain't
And I bring it back to relationships, because that man ain't call you. You done thought about every date he just done went on, and all kind of shit
with
he
the
done
friend,
did.
you sitting here like, well, what the fuck I did to her? Like, we was good. Like, what she, you know what? Because she been acting kind of funny lately. She been doing this, and it could be all in your
The
head.
bitch could have found out her mama got cancer or something. You don't know.
Or she could just be depressed.
Or she could
be mad at the nigga she with and don't want to talk to nobody. You know, especially if you somebody.
Or she could be in her meantime moment. Iyanla talks about that.
We have a meantime?
Yes, there's a meantime moment, even with friendships, that there, you know, you're trying to weed things out. You could be weeding out a friend, or you're just trying to find time to yourself. You're trying to figure out how to love yourself, how to be alone, like you say, and love yourself. Yeah. And a lot of times we have not, we haven't been taught to do that. Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, people told us when we were scared to go off to school, it's a new school or whatever, you're going to go meet a bunch of new friends. And it's like, that's what we hang on to. Like, I need to go out there and meet these new friends because they're going to make me feel good about myself. Yeah. You know, instead of just saying you're a great person, you're smart, you got this. Yeah. Sometimes we don't tell our kids that. So we tell those girls, you're going to meet new friends. You'll see, you know, like
that's the epitome of going to school. When to meet those new friends. For education.
Well, we done heard our mama say, you're going for a damn education anyway.
Social skills too. But yeah, you're right about that. That's very true. So I feel like we do have to get out our feelings with that. Oh, making big deals when we don't get the phone. If we're used to talking to a friend every day or once a week, and then maybe something kind of slow down, maybe you should call. Maybe you should keep calling and say, hey, you know what's going on, because you don't know what's going on. Instead of like, well, I done called 2 times, you know. Now, it was a situation with a friendship that I was calling and I wasn't getting responses for like months at a time, and I stopped calling. But I didn't stop calling with the intentions of feeling like, oh, bitch, I ain't calling you no more because I done called and called and called you.
You was giving her time to figure. It was like
clearly something, I don't know what's going on, but something is going on in this person's life where I'm going to give them whatever room is clearly that they need. And if they need me, they'll call me and tell me that they need me. Right. Now, one thing maybe I fell short of is I did stop like contacting altogether. Maybe I could have kept shooting text messages saying, hey, I'm just checking on you, making sure you okay. If you need me, call me. But I didn't do that. But I didn't do that because I felt like it come to a certain point where you got to be able to open your mouth and I can't.
You know what? You came to a point where you accepted it. You accepted that, you know, that friendship season was over.
Yeah, it was done. And I accepted that and I'm okay with that, and I don't have no ill feelings towards her. I accepted the position that I was in. I was no longer your friend, and our season of friendship passed. And it's you on to whatever you're on to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm good with that. And it did get to a point where I was okay with that. And I did get to the point where when she did reach back out, like I hadn't talked to her in like maybe 7 months. And she reached back out about her wedding. And, you know, my husband had to work that weekend. So it was going to be hard for me to go. But I could, if I really wanted to, I could have probably maneuvered and made a way to go to that wedding. I will be honest with that. But I would say I was not going, and I did not feel comfortable going, because if I haven't talked to you in over 7 months, I don't know what it was that you went through, and there has been no communication or clarity on what it was. And I haven't talked to you since. I just get an invitation in the mail. I don't feel comfortable going to your wedding.
Right.
I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I should come in there and just act like I hadn't spoken to you in 7 months, or should I go in and say like what happened? Because to sit here and be phony, to act like nothing happened, like that 7 months of me not speaking to you just was a figment of my imagination. That's not being real to myself. That's not being authentic with me. And that would just have been awkward. And it wouldn't make me feel comfortable at that wedding. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? And then you have people.
And you know, sometimes, you know, maybe we feel sometimes we go through stuff we are ashamed of, and we cut people off for a period of time. You don't necessarily have to call that person and say, this is what I went through.
No.
But it is,
hey,
you know,
girl,
just,
you know,
hey, I did, and I was going
through
through some things. I don't really want to get into it.
But I just want you to know it was nothing with you.
Right.
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good now. I just want to reach out to you because I know I haven't spoken to you. Like, don't go from 7 months not talking to me. I have no communication with you. To I'm supposed to just show up at a wedding and see you and do what? Hey! Like, you know, it's once again going back to like a relationship with a man. That's like a man not talking to you for 7 months. And then all of a sudden, he hits you up and like it sends you an invite to his birthday party. You gonna be sitting there like, what am I coming to this birthday party as? Because the last time I talked to you, we was involved, and then you start talking to me for 7 months. Yeah. So should I come in here thinking like, well, we friends? I'm an associate. I'm just somebody who you just wanted to invite. I'm somebody special to you. We in a relationship. Like, how am I supposed to come to this birthday party as?
Right.
Who am I? What am I? I don't know. So I'm not going to put myself, I'm protecting my space and my peace. I'm not going to come somewhere where I'm going to feel uncomfortable for the sake of you and what you got going on.
For the looks of things.
For the looks of things, I'm not going to do that. So I just declined and I didn't go. And it's not, I don't hate the person. I hate her. I don't have no ill will to her. It's just the fact that I'm not going to put myself in a situation feeling obligated with something when there has been no type of clarity on what we are. Because you can't say we friends. We ain't talking 7 months. Bitch, I could have had cancer and fucking went to chemo and beat the shit all in 7 goddamn months. And you ain't know none of that. And I'm supposed to just be like, hey, we just good now. Like, no. So, you know, you got to be able, you can't do that to people either. You can't shut people out because you have stuff going on and then don't think you can pop back in their life without explanation or explaining anything about the situation. Like, that's not fair to that person either. So, you know, maybe that's maybe this is what this whole show is about, to have an understanding that when it comes down to it, a relationship has the same core values in any type of relationship.
Whether it's
whether it's you and a significant other, whether it's you and a family member, like it's the same core values and the same things you have to stand by in a relationship. Like, you can't go missing with your friend just because that's your friend.
And expect you don't owe them some type of
explanation.
Like, even if it's just an apology.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Like,
I know
I'm
I
sorry,
hadn't been calling.
I had some shit going on. I couldn't. I couldn't at that moment.
Right.
Like, it's the same thing. You still owe that person an explanation. You can't just pop in and out of people's life just because you think, oh, well, I'm a friend. No, it's the same values. The same way you would value a relationship with that man is the same way you should value a relationship with your female friend, your best friend, your girlfriend, like whatever the case may be. And I ended on this note, even to say, like, when I go back and watch Girlfriends, oh my gosh.
How did they stay
That
friends?
was some toxic. I go back and watch Girlfriend. I'm like, these are some toxic ass friendships.
But you know, I used to love girlfriends
I
too.
did.
I
did not
it.
realize.
And we would all try to sit and pick which character.
And even though Tony was a toxic friend, Tony was definitely a toxic friend. I did not realize that Joan wasn't that much better. No. You know, you looked at Joan and thought, you know, oh, poor Joan. But when I went back, it was
the victim.
If she didn't have a man, then it was all about why she couldn't have a man. And it was like she lived in that space and she could not be happy for any of her friends unless she had happiness. If Joan didn't have the happiness she wanted, if she couldn't give the ultimate, pure, genuine, authentic happiness for her friends.
Yeah, that was my show though.
It was. And it's still my show. I just see the real reality of the friendship to say that, Joan, you wasn't all that of a good friend either. Like, in the beginning, it came off that way because, you know, said you were so, but I feel like now looking at the beginning, how she was just everything to everybody, I feel like that was the controlling demon in her. Like, it wasn't about
not knowing how to be by herself. She had to occupy herself.
It wasn't about necessarily being a friend who wanted to be available to her friends. It was about the fact that you were controlling. Like, you wanted to, you know, have a say in what your friends' lives were. And as soon as they didn't agree with something you did, like when Maya didn't like the way she was trying to make her wedding, and she was like, this my wedding, this how I want to do it. She thought Maya wedding was country. Like she couldn't just be like other friends do when they be like, girl, this dress too ugly, but child, this is her day. This ain't got nothing to do with me. This is her day. So we just gonna go, this is about her. It ain't about me. It's like Joan couldn't not for one moment make it not about her with her friendship. So, but you know, so I would say at the end of the day, I think that's a good closure to say, you know, you treat a friendship like you would treat a relationship that you have with
a love relationship with, you know, a man, ladies, or your significant other, because all of us ladies aren't with the man.
Yeah, so, with the significant other, yeah, it's the same thing. That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I don't think
stop being insecure. That's all I can say. Or recognize. I ain't gonna say stop. Recognize your insecurities and be willing to work on it.
Because your insecurity is gonna tell you something about yourself.
Yes, it will.
It's gonna tell you something. So when you see that you're doing something in your friendship that is projecting your insecurity, look at that insecurity.
Especially something that is unsaid. It has not been said. You can't just assume. Stop and say, she didn't say this to me. This has not happened. Why do I feel this way? You know, ask yourself why you feel this way, because your friend hasn't said any of these things that you're thinking. You know, so
and we can live right up here too.
Yeah,
we can be up here in our mind with something and don't eat. And I'm gonna leave it off with this note, like Iyanla say, stop talking to everybody in the world about your irreconcilable differences you have with your friend, and don't talk to your friend.
Right, talk to your friend.
Cause and nobody else can do shit about it, but the person you got an issue with. So if you got a problem with your friend, if you feeling some way, say it. Mm-hmm. And you know, and the friend, they need to say it too. We also, friends, we have to allow the room and the space to allow our friend to be able to say what's on their mind to us, regardless if we like what they're gonna say, if we accept it, if we don't. Give them the room to feel comfortable to speaking openly to us about things that's on their mind.
Right.
And you know the difference between somebody telling you something genuinely because they have concerns and versus somebody just being a petty patty. You know. Respect. Well, on that note, Freinemies.
We out of our Freinemies drink. We need some more Prosecco.
Clink, clink, and we will see y'all next time. Make sure y'all join the group and make sure that y'all follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Drinks and Discussion, and also on Facebook, because that's where we don't load the full episode anymore on YouTube or in the group or on the page anymore. So you do have to go to Nobody Grinds. Is it nobodygrinds.net or .com? Nobodygrindslikeuss.com is where you will see the full episode. So make sure you go to nobodygrindslikeuss.com, or you can download the Nobody Grinds app to watch the full episode. But you can see previews and clips on YouTube and Facebook and all of that good stuff. Child, we trying to get these numbers up, okay? Child, I'm trying to be like Joe Budden.
Stop sneak viewing.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like Joe Budden and the horrible decisions and shit like that. I'm trying to get these papers up. So y'all need to go support and, go click on nobodygrindslikeuss.com or download the app to watch the full episode. And we out this piece. Oh, boo, boo. You just made me look bad, bitch. Pulling up the shit from the producer.
See, this bitch is
See, that's the shit I'm talking about. Motherfuckers, I was trying to upstage your ass. But we out.
Damn bitch. It's tough being this bitch.